Welcome to Go Inspo, to Go Inspire, the podcast that takes you behind the scenes of the event production and staffing industry. Join hosts Clay, James, and more as they dive into captivating conversations with industry insiders, thought leaders, and trailblazers. Discover what sets apart the successful from the rest and gather practical tips to excel in your own endeavors.
Have you ever wanted to work concerts, festivals, or big events? We're Go Inspo. Download our app, find us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Spotify. Like, comment, and subscribe.
Let's do it. Okay, I would like to introduce Eva López, our next guest. She's amazing, close friend. She's now running for 4th District City Council for Salt Lake City. Has attended a lot of events on the government side, has helped put them on, etc. And we're really excited to have her. Thank you so much.
Hey, thanks, James. Hey, thanks, everybody, for having me.
Yeah. So as I ask everyone, when you're on site doing an event or, any sort of activation, what event tool do you bring with you?
Oh, man, I thought about this. I love a good Leatherman, but if it's not that, it's going to be a nice pair of leather gloves so things don't slip out of my hands. You need the basics.
Most
you need the
important
basics.
gloves.
Gloves.
That's so important.
Oh, yeah.
Got to keep those hands nice and soft.
The money makers. Hands.
I love it.
Yep. You got to type and.
Everything.
Yep. Thank you for sharing. Cool. You didn't bring your gloves.
Not this time, but,
That's okay.
I have my hands.
All good. Okay, sweet. So give us your elevator pitch. What are you up to right now?
Gosh, well, I'm running for office, and I'm running because I care a lot about District 4. Salt Lake City is seeing this huge boom. Ever since the pandemic, it's pushed business and local government and nonprofits to evolve, but we're doing it in a way to bring more people in. So Salt Lake's in a great position nationwide. We're the #1 economy in Utah, and as the capital city, we have this great ability to bring community together. Besides that, I'm working on other special events. This is a great space to be in. One of the events I was just working on is the Park City Half Marathon, where we combine athleticism and accessibility to promote these events across Utah in preparation for what we hope to be the 2034 Winter Olympic Games here.
Yeah.
It's an exciting time to be here.
Yeah.
For those who don't know or aren't familiar with Salt Lake City, what's the where and what is the 4th District?
4th District is the heart of Salt Lake City. It's South Temple to 8th South, 4th West to University Street. Yeah. Perfect little rectangle. And everybody that crosses through the state will at some point cross through Salt Lake City, this district in particular.
Totally.
That's exciting.
That's awesome.
What motivated you to start running?
I mean, it's this idea of community. I really love the people of Salt Lake City, and I love that people come in, the tourism, to join the recreation that's here. I think for me, I decided that with my background and ability in the city, bringing partners together, there needed to be a strong voice at the helm of decision making so that we can invest better in these opportunities. That's why I'm running.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. And I know you work a lot on the diversity aspect of or labor and et cetera. Now, where do you see that in the event world from start to finish? And where can there be maybe some improvements there?
Yeah, I love it. There's lots of great opportunities to bring in different perspectives, views, experiences, and people that wouldn't normally access these environments. We talk about Shredfest. I love that one of the opportunities Shredfest saw was to bring in the LGBTQ community and to bring in nonprofit partners to the forefront so that it's not just about accessibility to the outdoors, but specifically finding space for these community members that maybe have a harder time accessing. Sports, and in particular winter sports, tend to be male dominated. I love seeing female athletes at the forefront of this conversation. For us as city officials, I think we want to see that too. We want people of all different experiences, shades, and creeds to come to Salt Lake City and feel like this is a place they could either find a home and build their opportunity, build their dream out here. I think it's really important that we invest in that. It's going to look like grants and money from the city side, but it also looks like perpetuating those people and being able to partner with different companies, right? Making that bidding process a little bit easier.
What's the biggest event in the 4th District? Probably Salt Lake Marathon or Pride?
It actually is the Salt Lake Marathon. You hit it on the dot. That is the largest one. The second largest one is going to be Pride, just from basically cases, police, utility bases, what the city needs to prepare. And we see costs going up every year for these events. So now we're left with the question is, what does the city need to do to help these events stay in our city? We don't want to lose them.
Totally.
It's super important, and it's a cultural part of the city, quite frankly.
Well, and to that note, it's like 20 years ago, it was the biggest event in the 4th District, Pioneer Day.
Yeah. It was the Pioneer Day Parade. It was the largest one.
And now
it's marathon, because we need more public officers and we need firefighters, and our code is getting amended every year. And then the Pride Parade, which sees every year, we saw the largest Pride Parade, I believe they said in one weekend, 150,000 people. Just insane numbers. And we can start to track from API addresses and see, okay, it's people from out of state. It's not just Utahns.
Right.
It's the Northwest. It's the Rocky Mountain West.
Yeah.
Huge opportunities.
That's interesting.
That's cool. You brought a really good point right there is the data.
Yeah.
It's really...
It doesn't lie, man. It does not lie.
Men lie, women lie. Numbers don't lie. Numbers don't lie.
I think it's really important to have that data, one on a really economic scale, with a city or a state, but also on a microeconomic scale with an event. Finding the traffic that's going into your event, or working with certain media partners, or trying to get those KPIs dialed. And that's something that's really huge. And I love to hear that you guys are really, working on that.
It's about being intentional with curating the space from the city's end. It's making sure not just our permitting is streamlined, that's one side of it, but to actually do the economic measurement afterwards and to have those projections available. We're expecting by the end of 2025 an increase in my district in particular of 10,000 residents. What does that mean? There's huge value to that, not just from a tax-based perspective, but for those that are putting on the event. Whether you're a brand seeking to do larger outreach to this community, or from a profitability standpoint, there's a lot of money to be made.
Yeah,
I think it speaks ways to, look what Salt Lake City did this year with the NBA All-Star Game.
Oh yeah, we did the impossible.
Not only the impossible, but look at the economic benefit, right? It was so long since we had it, and they skipped over us so many times, right? And being able to be accessible and being able to be, this is somewhere you want to be because it will make money. And not only for the people, but on the city's council side, it's like big events bring big money. And like you said, we don't want to lose these events.
Yeah.
And it's cool to look at that perspective. That's something, as you just started speaking, something I didn't even think about before in the event space.
Yeah.
Is the political side and the permits and
it
the benefit to the
is.
city.
And I'm glad you bring it up, because All Stars was something that there's hesitation with events, maybe a little bit because we're unsure of what it's going to bring to the city.
Right.
But we can determine a path. I think All Stars was a catalyst to start validating to the investors and to the private partners that want to bring in an NHL team to Utah. Right? MLB team to Utah, right? Two major sporting worlds coming to Salt Lake City saying, you're our number one choice today. That was not on the table even a year ago.
Right.
That's wild. And
it's super exciting.
I saw some a little bit about that. That'd be incredible if we got some major league in here.
Yeah.
That's so cool. I didn't prepare you for this question, but as a producer, event director, etc., a lot of people are afraid of the word permits, or they're like, oh, the permits, or we don't want to do the permits, you do the permits. Now, are there any steps people can take, or any tips to be prepared to do permits, or start that process? / are there internally within the government to streamline those processes? Is that something we're working on in Salt Lake City?
We've got some great people that do special events or regular permitting at the city, and they take their job really seriously because they know that that's the process that most people need. Whether you're a contractor or somebody putting on an event, you need the city's permission to do this, to do this work, to bring in people in a safe manner so that they can celebrate whatever it is you're putting on and be a part of something fun. I think first step, get to know your permits manager, right? At Salt Lake City, we have a great individual that's been there for a long time. Many of these individuals want to see events. They know that their job is to influence our decision making. And when you run into a hiccup, you do want to know your mayor's office or your city council office and those leaders, because how many times did we have to interact and say, hey, something's getting denied, or oops, in a pinch, you need a permit right away, and you just got to have that person on call. Yeah. I would say, look, man, call me. But if I'm not there, it's got to be someone else. And so you get to know your city officials. It really is the number one way to get, it's not to say you get special preference or preferential treatment. It is to say, though, that type of communication and connectivity doesn't happen in every city. Mm-hmm. But at our scale, that's what makes Salt Lake City great, is that it does happen at our city.
Like any business, you want it to be win-win. Mm-hmm. And I think what you mentioned is the difference of having a long-lasting festival or event than something that was one and done.
Yep, exactly.
Is making that relationship.
The city wants events. The city wants arts and culture here.
Of course.
And we want it to last a long time. Let's do it in a sustainable way, and let's work together.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I think for producers and event folks, applying for permits, it's really important. One thing that we did with Shred Fest, which is a festival in Salt Lake City, is like those relationships are so important. And if you want to go show up in person, say hi, and meet the individuals that are in charge of that certain permit for that specific item, there's a list of permits you need, utility, trash, liquor, land lease, etc. And it helps so much just being in great communication. They give you 30 days to do this, 45 days to do this, but really get in touch with them 6 months prior, give them a little heads up that you're coming. And they are the nicest people. It's just a system, because if there's no system, then things would slip through the cracks, or there'd be issues with that, or there wouldn't be enough safety measures, et cetera, et cetera. So there's just a system, and you got to be patient with that system, and don't let that stop you from wanting to do events or be a little bit intimidated. They're the nicest, most amazing people ever, and they're happy to help us. So.
Absolutely, we are. Yeah.
Have you ever wanted to work concerts, festivals, or big events? We're Go Inspo. Download our app, find us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Spotify. Like, comment, and subscribe.
All right, cool. So we are getting low on time here, so we are going to go on our famous 4 here. Is there a trait or habit that you're working on that you're trying to improve in your life?
Oh, yeah. I love this one. I've thought about it a lot. I'm the type of woman that's go, go, go. And you get stuff done, but it matters who you bring along the way. I'm practicing at getting better at bringing more people along with me. It's just following through. It's kind of my motto right now is create community. Right. Create community intentionally. Don't just force something to happen. Bring people, teach people, because that's the legacy we leave behind.
Yeah.
That resonates really well.
I love that. What is your favorite business book?
Ooh, Buy Then Build by Walker Diebel. And I actually texted you this. I was trying to send it your way. It's amazing. It's about small business acquisition. And did you know we're about to have a huge transfer of wealth through small businesses?
Okay, cool. Yeah.
So the boomer generation, they're leaving behind lots of small businesses.
Right.
People like us.
Right.
The startup world is great, but it is difficult. And it's hard to create a long-lasting brand. Basically, to summarize, you got $10,000 saved up, don't buy a car. Go buy a business. Right. Find some revenue, because that's community, that's brand value, and it's identity of consumers. Right? Build something better.
Right. I love that. And the baby boomers are they want to sell their business or
they do, and
give it away.
And they want someone to carry their legacy more than anything.
Yeah, and so that's definitely a good point. I love that. Okay. I know you're a busy gal, but I know you got some hobbies too. What are your hobbies?
Ooh, fly fishing. I've been doing that like crazy.
Nice.
Riding the jet skis,
Wait, jet skiing and fly fishing at the same time?
No.
That would be hard.
Yeah, exactly. Gosh, I wish. That'd be so fun.
What river do you go fly fishing?
I just got back from Stanley, Idaho. I was just there over the weekend.
Awesome.
So much fun.
Awesome.
I'm giving out the secret, but for those listening, wink, don't go there.
Yeah.
We don't want you. But if I'm here, Lower Provo.
Yeah,
So
awesome.
fun.
Awesome.
Easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a question on that wink, wink note. Maybe after your question, James, if we have time.
Okay. What sets apart successful people and unsuccessful people?
I think the difference is who's willing to admit what they don't know and seek the people that have the answers. It's something I've struggled with, right? We want to be good. We want to master every quality, but the reality is we don't have enough time.
Mm-hmm.
I recently practiced this. I kept running into a hiccup where I didn't have enough time, and quite frankly, I didn't have time to figure out the issue.
Right.
I brought in someone and contracted them, and it was streamlined. It was awesome. And I couldn't believe I waited this long to spend a small amount of money, really, to buy back time or to buy expertise. Just do it, guys.
Yeah.
Don't go the easy route. It's never worth it.
Yeah.
Find people that are smarter than you or know how to work harder than you or do something different.
Yeah.
Don't just learn from them. Hire them.
Yeah. Amen to that.
So smart.
That next step is huge.
Mm-hmm.
It's not an easy one, for sure. And I think with what you said early on is putting your ego aside.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we are all like have different backgrounds and special skills, whether it's events or not. Like throw that ego aside and ask some questions. It's okay to not know. It's okay. We don't know everything, and so I think that's important.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. You have one more question or a comment, and then we're gonna find out how we can find you online and all
Heck
that.
yeah.
I was just to your like wink, wink, don't go there. I think it's very popular among people from Utah, generationally from Utah. Like, no, Utah sucks. Don't move here. Stop moving here. And you know, running for political office in a district where you said 10,000 people will be coming in the next however so many months. District 4 is really important to me and my family. Like I said, being 8, 9 generations in Salt Lake City. How do you prepare for growth and seeing Salt Lake City change so much, but to the same, like, wink, wink, us people from there don't want you here. Like, how do you preserve Salt Lake City to be, it's a beautiful, clean, organized, great city?
Yeah.
How do you preserve Salt Lake City but welcome growth?
I love that you asked me this question. This is the number one question I get. How do we preserve our neighborhoods? Because that's the character. That's the beauty of our city.
Totally.
Is that you can walk down the street and you know the guy that owns the bookstore. It's going to be Ken Sanders on 2nd. Just moved to the Leonardo. Go to People's Coffee. Say hi to Omar. I'm going to walk down the street, find more restaurants, find more people. And it's Salt Lake City. And we don't want to lose that feeling.
Right.
And the way you do it is through planning and zoning. I mean, this is my political lens to it, is that the officials we elect determine what gets to stay and what doesn't. We can acknowledge private property rights, right? People have a right to develop.
Right.
But that doesn't mean that we can't say, what about the amenities that displace them? Or what about the residents that now can't afford to live where they've lived for a long time? I have friends that have said, you know, I grew up in this home and I was so sad to see it torn down because that was a home my grandparents lived and my parents were able to raise me in.
Correct.
Now there's a luxury unit complex
Hotel.
there, you know. And that doesn't feel like a part of the community. It feels like whiplash. It feels like, what's the city? I think that Salt Lake City today is starting to find its new identity. I think we're starting to transform a little bit. A key to preservation, though, is going to be, one, supporting your small businesses. Do it if you're not doing it already. It's super critical. It makes it easier for them to stick around to the neighborhood as prices and rents go up. And two, if you can't buy in, you know, help have those conversations. Go to city planning and speak up and say, I actually care a lot. I knew my neighbor. They moved. I'd like to see another neighbor there. Right. I think there's a way to bring in, we hear this term called gentle density. It's for both businesses and residents. And that's all to say is that I have a lot of hope and I'm inspired by the growth. I think it's exciting. I speak to elderly neighbors that are sharing with me how excited they are to see the city transform.
Right.
Because that means it's a city of opportunity.
Well, and no matter how you press it, push it, try to hide it, you can never fight growth. Growth will always happen. And so I think that, to what you said, is that preservation and preserving is so important. That's really cool to, get involved, like you said.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really cool comment you made to support local businesses and small businesses and build community around you.
I love it.
Awesome.
Yeah. Go Inspo. Yeah, we're super proud and just an incredible location, Salt Lake City, kind of in the hub to branch out and to be a great hub for Sundance Film Festival and all over.
Hopefully the Olympics.
And maybe the Olympics. But if our team needs to travel, we can get there quick and easy. So we're between California and Salt Lake City, but it's so exciting to hear everything that you guys are working on. And we're going to continue to do events here and see it grow. So,
I love it.
Yeah.
It's so important.
Awesome. So where can people find you?
Find me at evaforcouncil.com. It's EVAFOR council, spelled COUNCIL.com. And check it out. There's lots of different links. You can learn more about me, learn more about the campaign. But I think what's really cool, and we've made it a point, you can learn more about the city. It's not just about me.
Yeah.
And I know everyone says that, but sincerely, it's not just about me, because a resident, regardless of the election, a resident that speaks up for their community is the most valuable person you'll find or meet in your community. It's like the guy you might meet down the street walking your dog, and he's going to go, hey, there's a meeting happening tonight that's going to decide the fate of this new library or this school or this bookstore or this coffee. Like, come, get involved. And I think that's how you can say, I care about my neighborhood. I care about my city, my community. I meet people all the time saying, hey, Salt Lake's actually really dope. It's so fun. How did I not know about this? How do I find out more? Go to my
sucks.
website.
Don't move here.
Yeah, wink, wink.
Yeah, exactly.
It sucks. Don't move here, specifically if you're from California.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. Cool. Awesome.
Thanks,
Thank you
guys.
so much for your time.
I love it.
Thanks for
Thank
coming.
you.
It was awesome
Hey,
hearing from you.
hey, I'll be here.
We're Go Inspo. Download our app. Find us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Spotify. Like, comment, and subscribe.